What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Behind the Grind. Today on the show, we have another 3 special guests. Kicking it off, we have Jesse, JT Money, Taylor. Passing it on to Johnny, Kid Kavimbo, Muñoz. And last but certainly not least, we have UFC flyweight contender Nadia Kassem. All I can say, guys, is enjoy, and we'll see you at the end of this episode. Peace. So you have a couple posts out, but when are we gonna see you back in the cage?
Yo, what's up? Man, I'm back soon, man. It's good. I switched things up recently. Sometimes change is good. I got a new manager.
Okay.
His name's Matt Dodge of Dodge Sports. And,
awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. I've kind of been itching. I had a couple close calls with to Bellator and some big shows, and just the contracts didn't kind of work out. And then I had this other fight, kind of like a tune-up fight. The guy was still good over in Abu Dhabi, and
Okay.
hurt my knee a little bit. Part of the trade, but I'm healed up. Got a new manager, and I'm telling you, there's big news coming soon, very soon.
Awesome. So you recently made the switch with Dodge Sports, correct?
Yeah, Dodge Sports.
Awesome. So can you dig into a little bit about where you'd want to be?
Honestly, ideally, especially looking at the landscape, there's still a possibility to go back to the UFC. That's always,
Okay.
Business is business. I think I could put numbers in their pockets, and I think I can make a run for the title. Either way, I go 170 now, but I think maybe even back up to 185. It's kind of clearing up, but definitely 170. And ideally, that'd be UFC, but we're talking to Bellator, ONE FC. We're also talking, of course, to PFL.
Yeah.
But I'm excited. This new manager's going to get me something. He's going to pull the switch. He fights for me, and I should have I got to call him next. I should find out any second now when the next fight is.
So if you sign with the UFC, actually, how would you rank yourself among the current welterweights in that division?
For UFC, honestly, man, that's the whole bullshit thing about all of this is I think I'm right up there. I think I match up. It kind of cleared out. They got Usman and Covington, who I beat Covington wrestling in college. So
Okay.
I think I'm right up there. I think there's definitely some killers. There's a lot of good guys, but I think with my style, I can move right up there pretty quick. Right now, I'd say I'm top 10, top 15. That's a fight I would want. Definitely a top 20 guy. But, yeah, I think I'm right up there. It's just I got to get going again to get back in there.
So for those who don't know, Jesse is currently on a 4-fight win streak, with his last win coming over Diego Lima. How far back have your injuries set you?
Honestly, nothing. I've been kind of blessed. I've had very, very few injuries. They definitely happen, but nothing crazy. No surgery. Just it was a knee thing, just some time off. And
Okay.
I'm already back on my feet. It was just one of those things. It was bad timing, man. Out of almost 60 pro fights, I think I've only have 1 or 2 fights where I've got injured before and had to pull out. So it doesn't happen that much at all. So that's why I was kind of bummed, but I know it happens. Good news is no surgery. Man, I'm good to go, man. Bam, look at that. Ready to go, baby. Fresh, man.
Yeah.
I just want to get back in there.
Yeah, for sure. So looking back at your record, 16 of your 31 wins come by way of submission. Would you say you're mostly recognized for your jiu-jitsu?
Yeah, and it's actually, I count the Ultimate Fighter too. So I always so there's 8 more. There should be 7 more wins on there. I never lost that, so 38 actually. But yeah, I think definitely I'm a submission and ground fighter. I think I have real good ground and pound too, though, which is kind of another element too. And but I think in the last stop, I'm kind of well-rounded these days. I feel good at the stand-up too, if it goes there. But the wrestling and the grappling, it gives me a long career. I mean, look, I look so pretty though, because I don't get hit. So I don't care if people say, don't go take them down. Don't let my brains beat in, and keep going in. But I have that stand-up when I need to. And but yeah, definitely a ground fighter, man.
You were scheduled to fight Bilal Muhammad. Can you tell us what happened with that one?
That was the below. That was the shit. That was the they found some shit to this day. I don't know if you heard there. There's some stuff called clomiphene, and they pulled me from the fight. And to this day, I have no idea what the stuff was. It was like a trace residual. And honestly, I thought it was nothing.
Okay.
I kind of said, nothing's gonna happen. But they ended up pulling me for that fight. And I mean, to this day, man, it was some bullshit that happened. And but yeah, it was a weird kind of thing. But I would love that fight. I would love that fight again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
Was your nickname? Oh, my bad. JT Money something given to you from Tough?
No, man. That name's followed me around since high school. My buddy gave it to me. I was kind of fucking up in English class, you know. I was showing up late. I was talking out of turn. I couldn't hear the words correctly. And my buddy said, "Hey, don't worry about it, man. You're money. JT Money. You're money, man." You know, and it followed from there. It followed me to the wrestling mats and followed me to wrestling college. And when I got into fighting, the name kind of just followed me, man. Never got away from me, and now I take it full force, you know.
Yeah, right on. Last couple of questions I have for you, Jesse. Where can we find you on social media? And is there anyone you would like to give a quick shout out to? The stage is all yours.
Thanks, man. JT Money, MMA. My Instagram and Twitter. At Facebook, just Jesse Taylor and Jesse JT Money Taylor. I got to do a little bit better part with the social media, but yeah, that's where you can find me.
It was awesome having you on the show, Jesse. And my bad.
In the gym. Sorry. And in any 10th Planet gym or the Team Quest, you can find me. You come to San Diego 10th Planet, you come roll with JT Money. You know, I roll with them all. You know.
Perfect. So it was awesome. You go ahead.
No, sorry, bro. I know. I'm giving the interview. I'm just kidding. No, I said get my Friday night training in, you know?
Yeah. So it was awesome having you on the show, Jesse, and hopefully we can do it again soon.
Awesome. So what's your, I think I got your social media stuff, right?
Yeah, so cool. It's Behind the Grind Official for my podcast account. Yeah, all right, nice. Perfect.
I'll give you a shout out. Wait, so it'll be on next week?
Yes, should be around there, yeah.
All right, cool, man.
All right, appreciate it.
I'm excited. Peace, bro.
Thank you. Peace.
And there he was, Jesse JT Money Taylor. Next on the line, we have Johnny Kid Cavenbo Muñoz. Enjoy.
The grind. Joining me today is King of the Cage's own bantamweight champion, Johnny Muñoz. How's it going today?
Going great, man. Having a great day. Hope everything's good with you guys over there. We're doing it over here in California.
Awesome. So, to start off the show, can you tell us about your upcoming bout, September 7th?
Yeah, so I'm fighting September 7th, Saturday, Parker, Arizona, at the Blue Water Resort and Casino, right on the river, fighting Ian King. And I'm excited for this fight, man. Can't wait to get back in there and do some violent things. It's what I live for.
So what do we know about your opponent, Ian King?
Yeah, so I know he's from Oregon, trains out of American Top Team. I think like Paige Van Zandt, there's a couple like fighters there, Kel Sonnen to train there. So it's a good fight team. I know he's a very well-rounded fighter, so I know he's going to be dangerous, and I'm expecting the best version of Ian King in there. But it's okay because I'm going to bring him my A game.
And where do you believe you'll get the better of your opponent?
I feel all areas of combat, I'm going to get the better of him. You know, I train very hard. I know most people just think I'm more of a grappler. But in this fight, we're going to see all my tools, all areas of combat in this fight. So I feel ready, and I don't know. I feel good. I might just hit him a few times, and so we'll see.
Yeah. And you've been with King of the Cage your whole professional 9 fights and your amateur career too, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
What type of impact have they made on your career?
Yeah, so being with King of the Cage, it's been good. They've been good to me. It's been good in my career. having steady fights. You know, I know a lot of guys when they start off in their career, if you notice, like you look up certain guys and they fought maybe once, they haven't fought a lot, they haven't been active.
Yeah.
I think a lot to do with it is not having a good relationship with an organization. I know there's a lot of shady people in the business, or maybe just not knowing the right people. But for me, I feel I have a good business relationship. That's a part of being successful in this game. You got to be able to talk business, and I feel with King of the Cage, I have that, and I've been able to get a good amount of fights, and they've been able to get my record up there. And got a belt now, so they've been good to me.
And you mentioned that people mainly think you're a jiu-jitsu fighter. Would you say that's your main aspect of the fighting game?
No, I feel I'm a very well-rounded fighter. Just, most of these guys, most of the people I fought, I've never really engaged in the grappling. They came to me, like, there's been a few guys that, like, they started taking me down. I was kind of like, what the heck? I was like, all right, you want to go to the ground, homie? Let's go. So, I kind of just let them take me down. Or there's, like, some guys that, they'll throw a kick. And, I like to counter, like, catch a kick, throw an overhand and whatever, and then the fight ends up on the ground. But no, I feel like I'm a very well-rounded fighter. And, my next fight, everyone's going to see my different skill set. So I'm excited.
Right on. So have you been in contact with any other fight promotions?
There's been other organizations, that will contact me, but, I'm with King of the Cage, and for me, it's, I want to go to the UFC, so it doesn't really matter what the promotion is. I want to be in the UFC. Last month I was at the UFC PI, checked out the Contender Series. That was a pretty good experience, and, it really motivated me to want to be at that level. So I can't wait. I'm excited, and I feel like with one or two more fights, I'm going to be there. So let's do it.
People don't seem to realize that fighters kind of have two sides to them. Can you tell us about your personality traits aside from fighting?
Yeah, so aside from fighting, I'm a very outspoken person, honest person, honest to myself. But for the most part, I'm a real reserved person. What I mean by reserved, there's a lot of people that, they'll voice their opinions, and I'll just kind of sit back. I'll just listen, and I don't like to waste my energy on things that's not gonna change anything. I'd rather focus my energy on my training, helping someone else, maybe motivating somebody else. But as far as like negative comments and all that, or people talking, like a lot of people like to talk about like world issues, political stuff, but I'm like, well, what are you gonna do about it? So like me, I don't like to put my input in a lot of that stuff unless I'm gonna do something about it. So I feel that's one thing with me. Like I like to put my energy into things that are gonna make a difference for people and the world.
Growing up, would you say you've always been the athletic type?
The athletic type. A lot of people, they tell me I'm athletic. I don't like to say, I'm athletic, because I feel like people use that as an excuse. Like, I feel like my hard work, my technique, my discipline is what makes me athletic. And I want people to focus on that part. So I feel like there's a lot of guys that are athletic. Their work ethic is horrible. But for me, I guess you kind of say that. Growing up, I started this at the age of 5, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I had a lot of family members involved in other sports. So I guess being active and all that stuff runs in my family. So
you started with Jiu-Jitsu, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yes. So I started with Jiu-Jitsu at the age of 5, and man, I gotta tell you, I hated it, man. I'd always used to cry, try to get out of it and put on a show. But my parents, they made me do it. They're like, no, you're doing this all the way up to you're 18 years old. And mainly they put me in it just so I would learn how to defend myself, be a confident person while growing up, interacting with other kids. And, I'm glad they did that because, around the age of like 8, 9 is when I really started liking it. And I saw Quentin Rampage Jackson slam people over at Pride. And I was like, man, I'm going to be in there one day. And then, I always visualize myself fighting, beating someone up. And here I am today. So.
Let's see here. So where can we find you on social media, Johnny? And is there anyone you would like to give a quick shout out to? The stage is all yours.
Yeah, so you guys could follow me on social media, Twitter, Instagram, @KidKavimbo. I'm sure he's going to put the name on there, so in case you guys don't know how to spell it. So follow me. I'd really appreciate that. I'm going to be the next big thing in MMA. And I want to give a shout out to all my sponsors: Winter Circle Athletics, Sports Pacific Rehab, Game Break Sports Massage, Rahaga Enterprise and Shooting, SoCal Shipping, Contract Killer, my team, Sequence MMA, and Brown Bomber Boxing. We're doing it over here, working hard. Y también a todo mi raza, sígame en Instagram. Yo hago todo lo que yo hago para mis mexicanos y los latinos.
Right on. So it was a pleasure having you on the show, Johnny, and hopefully we can do it again soon.
I appreciate you, man. Simon, my boy.
Adios.
All right.
Peace.
Late.
Once again, that was Johnny Muñoz. Next up, we have Nadia Kassem.
Kassem, how's it going today?
I'm doing really well, thanks. How are you?
Not too bad. So October 6th is the next announced fight date. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I'm fighting in UFC 243 in Melbourne, and I should be on the prelim card, and I'm really excited to bring back a win for this time around.
So what can we expect from you this time around for your fight October 6th?
Oh, look, I'm hoping obviously a win. Besides that, something a bit more exciting, like I've always been the type of fighter who really wants to jump in there and showcase my skills on different levels. So like I know I'm not the best striker, the best jiu-jitsu person, the best wrestler, but I feel like I can put them all together really well. So I hope I can, bring something different this time around.
Has your camp actually begun for your fight so far?
Yeah, it's definitely begun. So basically started a proper camp 8 weeks out, but I was and right now we're just under 6. But before that, I was kind of prepared for a fight to be coming around. So 3 months before that, I've been training like really consistently.
Has your training been different at all so far?
Yeah, like in this camp, it's been a little bit different in the sense where there's a in our strength conditioning sessions, it's a proper camp set out where beforehand I'm normally trying to gain some size. This time leading up, working on the strength, power, conditioning, normal process. And then in the gym, there's been a lot more sparring going on. So a bit more intense, definitely, on the body, on the mind, whatever. But yeah, no, I'm definitely feeling the camp this time.
So how many fights have you actually had in the UFC so far?
This is my 3rd UFC fight coming up.
Okay,
my first one was November 2017, which was a win by decision, and my last one being February 19, and I was a loss by armbar in the 2nd round. So yeah, that's my number 3rd fight coming up. So I'm pretty keen for that.
If you could fix anything from your last performance, what would you want to fix?
Definitely, I know that being first is a big thing. I know it's all about feinting and moving and waiting and getting your range and distance correct. Sometimes you don't got time for that shit because your opponent's gonna be like in your face,
right.
Like they have their own game plan too. So you gotta always be the first person to move, or you gotta be on the ball. So I think that's my biggest downfall.
So when exactly did your MMA career begin?
So it began just over 4 years ago. I had my first amateur fight, but before that I was training for a year and a half, consistently as well. Like I started in BJJ and I was pretty obsessed with that.
Okay.
And then after about 6 to 8 months, started doing like Muay Thai, and then put it all together from there. But yeah, I only had one amateur fight and then I went pro. So didn't really get too much experience.
Okay.
But that's cool in a way, like kind of led me to where I am today.
So from the beginning, has your family always been supportive of your MMA career?
Yeah, no, my family's been really great. They come to like all my fights. I've only kind of fought in Oz anyway, but like they still come, like obviously money doesn't come easy for everyone. So the fact that they've even like wanted to travel, I don't really ask, they want to be there. That means a lot, like I'm not the type of person to be like, oh, please come to my fight. Like,
yeah.
It's more, I want to be there for you. And for me, that means everything, because I'm not the type of person to really reach out.
Right on. So if you could experience in your MMA career, what would that be?
So what was that?
If you could put experience in your MMA career, what would that be?
I mean, this I don't really know. Hey, like I mean, in my career, like it's been pretty crazy. It's been lots of ups and downs. But it's really rewarding at the end of the day. Like how you progress mentally, physically, and like what you learn along the way is definitely a rewarding experience.
For sure. So, if you were asked to rate your training from 1 to 10, 1 being worst, what would you give it?
So what was 1?
1 being the worst.
So no, I definitely is not the worst career. I can't say that. Definitely not. I mean, look, I was 4-0 and then got signed to the UFC. So,
Okay.
in saying that, great career. I was undefeated. And I don't feel like I'm at the end at all. Like I'm only third fight deep in the UFC. And it's just gonna go up from here. I know that after each opponent I get is definitely harder, more experienced, and whatever it is. But you have to prepare for that the right way, and I feel like I'm going about it the right way. But yeah,
So you
the
actually,
rank, a bit like we're there.
Yeah. So you actually got into the UFC pretty early. Would you say that's pushed you forward a little bit, or kind of held you back?
No, like it's kind of like getting thrown in the deep end. Like here you go, like with all these lions and shit. But that's kind of worked in my favor. Like the pressure definitely is on.
Of course, yeah.
Got to kind of cope with that. But performance-wise and like just training-wise, it's pushed me because I'm like, oh, this is the level. Like there's no time to like muck around. Like you really got to train your best, be consistent, really listen to the coach's advice, and be supported around the right people.
Do you actually have separate coaches for each aspect of MMA, or is it all one coach?
No, it's basically all one coach. Like I've got Sim and Ashkan Mokhtarian, so they're brothers, and they've been my coaches since the very beginning.
Okay.
And of course, we do have like other coaches like at the same gym though. Like at the moment, we've got Khalil Pinto, he's my BJJ coach, and we've got Rob Hill, who's also a really big guy in Australian MMA and really reputable name. So he's come down, and he's now coaching us as well. But basically, Simon and Ash are like my main 2 coaches, and they've been helping me the best as they can. But I've got like the strength and conditioning coach that comes separate. And yeah, besides that, everything's the same.
Awesome. So, has there been any thoughts of going to Bellator or ONE FC?
Definitely not. I mean, the UFC is just kind of like the highest level of achievement for MMA in the MMA world. But look, if something ever was to happen, then it would happen, I guess, and I'd have to look elsewhere. But at the moment, like everything is okay, so I'm happy where I am. There's good exposure as well, so yeah, no, just definitely want to be staying in the UFC for now.
So the last couple of questions I have for you, Nadia. Where can we find you on social media, and is there anyone you'd like to give a quick shout out to? The stage is all yours.
All right, yep. So my social media platform on Instagram is Nadia187Kassem, and that's my main social media go-to. And big shout out to a few of my sponsors, Body Fit Urban, Cryotherapy, Cryoscience in Strathfield, Australian Top Team, S&C Coach, Anomaly Performance, and Australian Top Team, which is my gyms. And of course, the Fight Dietitian, who's been helping me with my diet along this way as well.
So it was worth it in the end getting the interview. Hopefully we can do this again soon.
Of course. Thanks so much for everything. Sorry about the lag.
My pleasure. Yeah.
Last night.
It worked in the end.
Yeah, it's all good. Thank you so much.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right. See ya.
There you have it, guys. That was Nadia Kassem. That brings us to the end of our video. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and hopefully you'll join us for episode 15 of Behind the Grind. Peace.